Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Luke from Leaderboard Customs here, and I'm going to show you how I prep golf shoes. Alright, so obviously we got the laces out, and we're going to prep this Air Jordan 1 low golf shoe. There's a few things that when you're prepping a golf shoe you want to do. One of the things, first and foremost, you don't need to prep the areas you're not going to paint. For this custom, I'm going to paint the mud guard on the front toe box area. I'm going to paint the swooshes, the back heel tab, and the upper. And so these are the areas, the swooshes, the back heel, and the mud guards that I'm going to prep. Don't need to do anything else to the shoe because these areas I'm going to leave white. The material that Nike uses on the Air Jordan 1 Low Triple Golf shoes are a synthetic leather, and it's not high quality. And so with this material, we're going to have to scuff it pretty good to get the paint to adhere. Otherwise, if you just did what most people do, which is take some cotton balls and some acetone or deglazer and take the factory finish off, you're not going to have a durable custom. You're going to probably wear it once or twice and the paint's going to start cracking. When you're working with a tumbled leather, it's even harder. And in this scenario, a tumbled faux leather, it's going to be even harder to get the paint to adhere. So in a future video, I'll talk about what I do when it comes to toe box areas. So first things first, we've already taken out the laces. This custom, I'm going to dye the sock liner. And so I'm just going to go ahead and take out the insole. So we'll set that aside for now. And what I'm going to do is just start prepping the areas that I'm going to paint. Okay, to start any custom, I go with a coat of the leather, Angelus's leather deglazer. This is actually acetone. I just keep it in this bottle. But what I'll do is I'll take a cotton ball, get some acetone on it, and again, I'm only going to do this in the areas that I'm going to prep and I'm going to paint. So these areas, the mud guard, I am going to paint. So I'm going to go ahead and just get that first couple layers of factory finish off. The toe box area you want to pay special attention to and spend a little bit extra time on those areas because that's where you're going to have your major issues with cracking and chipping if you don't prep the shoe correctly. And so here, I'm just making sure, and again, this is the very first step. I'm just going through and getting some of this deglazer. With this deglazer, I'm just getting some of this factory finish off. So another thing I really like to do is make sure that I'm getting everywhere that I'm going to paint. And so right here where the heel overlaps the swoosh, I still go in there and paint that. And so if I'm going to paint that, I need to prep it. So what I do is just casually lift this up and get my Q-tip underneath there and just get as much of that off as I can. Okay, so we did our first step, which is to take your acetone or deglazer and just go over the areas you're going to paint, remove some of that factory finish. This next part is very crucial. This is what's going to help the paint really have something to stick onto. So I've taken a Scotch-Brite pad and cut it to just little strips, and I'm going to dip this in the acetone. And when you start dipping this into the acetone, this is really where you're going to start to see the paint and the factory finish come off of the shoe. And you can already see just a few passes, it's already coming off. Again, this is the area that we want to pay special close attention to because this is the area that you're going to have the creasing. It's going to be right here in this toe box area. So this is the first area I start with and the area I pay most attention to. So you want to make sure that you're hitting it from all areas and all angles. Now the Scotch-Brite pad, if you take it against the stitching. Luckily, it doesn't mess it up too bad, but you don't want to take it and put a lot of pressure over the stitching. You do want to make sure, though, you're getting on the other side of the stitching, this little, probably a millimeter area, because this is going to be painted. So again, anywhere that you're painting, you need to prep. Now you want to be careful when how much pressure you're using. I'm using enough pressure to make sure that I'm scuffing up the leather, but you can overdo it and you can really mess up the faux leather by doing too hard, by just scuffing it up too much. So just be very careful that you're finding the right pressure, not too hard where you're messing it up, but also you got to do it enough to where you're roughing the area. So far, just to cover what we've already done, we just hit it with some acetone and cotton balls, went over the areas that we're going to paint, and then after that we scuffed it up with our Scotch-Brite pad and went through another round of the acetone just to clean up any debris. And then the next step, if you don't have a hand sander, you can just do this by hand. But if you customize shoes quite often, I would definitely suggest investing in one of these. I got a Ryobi, and all I do is I will take my sandpaper, and I've got little triangles that I'll just cut out, and I have a bunch of these already pre-cut, save me time. When you're doing the sanding, you want to be very careful not to hit any of the threading, because it will fray and it just doesn't look good in my opinion. So that's why it's important when you're doing your Scotch-Brite pad to make sure you get all the areas that have threading on it. As long as you don't scrub it super hydrant, you're not going to mess up your threading. So with the sander, I'm just going to get the main areas that have no threading. So the mudguard area all the way here, the swooshes here I'm going to hand sand, because trying to get this without touching any of the threading is going to be a little difficult. And then the back tabs I'm going to use a sander on. All right, so with the sanding, it is very crucial to hit the areas that are going to bend and flex and crease, so your toe box area. So I'm probably not even going to use the sander here. I'll do this off camera, but I'm just going to take a strip of each grit of the sandpaper and just go by hand and get these areas, because there's a lot of threading right here. And again, I don't want to hit that with the sander. Same for the swooshes. I'm probably not even going to sand the swooshes, because these are not bending and flexing all that much. And then these are going to be strictly a crimson swoosh, so I don't have to worry about pulling up any stencil work or possibly pulling up layers of paint. And this is prepped pretty good already. So when you're doing your customs, I would suggest anywhere that you're doing any stencil work or anywhere that there's going to be bending and creasing on the shoe, to go ahead and hit those areas with the sander. And again, three passes of the sander with 400, 600, and 1500 grit is what I personally use. So again, get those areas that are going to bend and crease, because again, the better prepped, the longer the custom lasts. So I'm going to do the sanding off camera, and I'll come back and I'll show you what it looks like, and we'll go through the second to last step. Hey everybody, I want to jump in real quick on the video and say, if you have not entered the giveaways for my YouTube channel or my Instagram account, go ahead and do so. It's September 2nd right now, and if you're watching this before September 4th, September 5th, then go ahead and still enter. You still got time, so go do that now. Go to my YouTube video called I'm Going to the Masters, and then go to my Instagram account and see one of my latest posts about the giveaway. Get your chance to win some Leaderboard custom swag. We are on our second to last step. We are going to take some acetone or Angelis's leather deglazer, and we're going to go over the shoe one final time to clear up any debris. At this point, we've already acetoned and sanded and scraped off any factory finish. So all this last step is for the last pass of the deglazer or acetone. is just to clean any debris off of the shoe. So we'll take our cotton balls and just go at it. Okay, so let's do a quick recap of what we've done so far. First and foremost, we went ahead with the Angelus Deglazer acetone, and what I did is I just went around the areas that I'm going to paint to get that factory finish off. From there, we hit them with our Scotch-Brite pad to scuff them up to give the paint something really to adhere to. After that, we did another quick round of the acetone just to clear up the debris. Then we sanded them with our 400, 600, and 1500 grit sandpaper. After that, another round of the acetone. And then our last step before it's ready to paint, I take my Scotch 2060 tape and I just take a piece and I wrap it around itself. And all I'm doing is literally just picking up any loose debris or anything that's still on the shoe that we want off. You're going to make sure that this shoe is as clean as possible so you get the best finish when it comes down to the custom paint. You want to make sure there's not any little debris, anything left on the shoe. So again, I just simply take my tape and I'll go around the entire shoe, even the shoe areas we haven't prepped, because if there's any debris, you just want it off the shoe. So I will do this 2 or 3 times and just grab a new piece of tape every single time. That way, these shoes are ready for your next steps, which is obviously the customizing. And from there, you're good to go. All right, everybody, thank you so much. If you liked the video, please like, subscribe, and comment down below. Comment what type of theme you would like to see on my next video. I'm going to do a full-length custom from start to finish, and I need your help. I need to figure out what type of custom you'd like to see, what type of theme, and the most popular answer, that's what we'll do. So thank you. I appreciate all you, and until next time.